Air quality monitors are now up in public spaces next to a construction area at the University of Cincinnati.
They'll determine if asbestos released during demolition is contaminating the air. 9 News reporter Tom McKee's live with the ongoing work and reaction to it. Tom?
Well, Tanya, we're talking about 60 West Charlton Street here on the Clifton campus of the University of Cincinnati. It's the building that was formerly known as the Sander Hall Dining Facility. Enough asbestos was released in the basement here that work by 5 firms was halted Monday pending cleanup. The monitors are to make sure none of the material escapes into the areas where students gather and attend classes. A series of explosions reduced the Sander Hall high-rise dormitory to a pile of rubble. However, the adjacent dining hall and classroom building stayed in service. Fast forward to 2011. That 2-story building is being renovated, but work was temporarily stopped on Monday. Construction workers were told they can't get inside again until asbestos is properly removed. At the same time, air quality monitors were put in the first-floor African American Cultural and Research Center down the hall from 2 sealed-off doors. Mario Shaw and Patrice Barnes said there was no prior warning the devices would be installed at the heavily used center.
If there's, things that can potentially harm us here at the center, then we need to know about those things so that we could protect the students here.
Another monitor was placed in a second-floor hallway near a sealed-off elevator shaft. It's adjacent to several classrooms. Sophomore Vicki Phillips studied just feet from the device, unaware of its purpose.
It doesn't really bother me, but I feel like they should have told us that they were going to be monitoring our air for specimens, that we didn't have no idea about it.
UC spokesperson Greg Hand said the monitoring is precautionary because a contractor dislodged asbestos in the basement of the construction zone. This is what happens when you work on old buildings. They caused it, and they will remediate it. Hand added the building is not being evacuated. We are making sure that their situation stays in their space and that our spaces in use are not being impacted by their work.
I think that's great. I think that's something that should definitely be done. But the issue that I take is the lack of notification.
OSHA regulations say the PEL, or permissible exposure level, during an 8-hour period is 0.1 fibers per cubic centimeters of air. Data from asbestos readings in the basement have not been released. Now, contractors hope to resume work tomorrow or perhaps even on Thursday. Of course, asbestos was used for insulation and fireproofing, but it was banned around 1970 because of potential health risks. Greg Hand says it's likely that every building on this campus has some asbestos. It's safe until it's disturbed. Then, Clyde, as we know, it can flake off, and those flakes can go into fibers. The fibers can get into the lungs and cause health issues.
Yes, they can. All right, Tom McKee reporting live at the University of Cincinnati.